Did you like my Urkel Devil? Hold on, let me pull this out so people can see the Urkel Devil. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Was that AI?
Here. It's AI. God bless AI. Hold on. Urkel Devil.
Pretty
Looking
good.
good.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that sucks is that Urkel wasn't in the. I titled it Steve Urkel versus Daredevil, but Urkel's not actually in the pilot that we watched. They needed to.
Yeah.
Just getting right into the flesh and bones of the matter, aren't
I
we?
know.
Well, I
yeah.
mean, we don't have to. We could definitely talk about nonsense and banter. Yeah, random banter. There's
Yeah,
a
that
gardener
would be-
outside, so that's fun.
You know
I can
what?
look at him.
I think you should have a shout out
Ice.
to our good friend Tuffy Rhodes because it's opening
Tuffy!
day in baseball.
Yeah.
And Tuffy, as I pointed out to him when I first met him at the bar at Spearmint Rhino, you hit 3 home runs on opening day against Dwight Gooden.
Yep.
Friends ever since.
Friends ever since. He does. He reached out. I forgot to text him this year when Ohio State and Penn State were playing, and good old Tuffy texted me to start the trash talk up again.
Not as fun when we never win.
We have a place in his heart. Yeah, we never fucking win.
What can we say?
I'll invite him to Vegas. I'll see if he wants to come to Vegas with us. I'll text him.
Boom.
I'll say we're going.
Awesome.
There you go.
Yep.
Hey,
I'd love to see Tuffy Rhodes and Evan in the same strip club at the same time. He'd be like, damn, who's this skinny, dying white boy?
Be a great conversation.
Mr. Rhodes,
the strippers
nice
will
you.
love it.
Do you spell your name with Tuffy or is it a PH like Fish, the band? Awkward conversation ever.
Mr. Fay.
Anyway, welcome to the first episode podcast, everybody. We're back with a brand new edition. You drinking a martini, Don?
No, it's beer in a whiskey glass, so it looks cool.
Yeah, that's what people would say about that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's Donnie. He's here. I'm, of course, Brian McWilliams and Rico down low. Down low, keeping things real. Welcome. Today, we're going to talk about one show which, for people of our era of 40-ish of age, Family Matters, unforgettable, and a perfect segue because you just talked about Perfect Strangers, which Don, who does his research, had pointed out, well, you know, Harriet Winslow from Family Matters got her start in Perfect Strangers.
Isn't it?
Henrietta? Harriet.
No, it's Harriet. Yeah, it's
Harriet Winslow.
Yeah.
Henrietta. What black woman would ever be named Henrietta?
This is in the
Unless
80s.
in slave days, maybe, Rico, when they had those types of names.
Right.
Henrietta, don't you run. I mean, that's the only way you'd ever hear that.
I think the character from Django Unchained, the character
that's named Henrietta. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you would call her Henrietta.
The new Nest of Vampires, which everyone knows that show/movie, stars a Henrietta Snestas.
That would be a great vampire name for a woman is Henrietta because it's from the 1600s.
Whoa, Nest of Vampires, 2.4 on IMDb.
Wow.
I've never heard of Nest of Vampires. So.
I have not either. Rico's literally just Googling black chicks named Henrietta. That's the only one that came up.
European.
Black vampires named Henrietta.
Was Blade's mom named Henrietta?
That sounds about right. Yeah. Oh, that's a good Marvel segue into the next show.
Wow, look at us. Natural. Ooh, natural. Well, anyway, so we're watching Family Matters, which Henrietta, a.k.a. Harriet Winslow, was apparently the elevator operator at the Chicago Sun-Tribune, where Cose Larry Appleton worked from Perfect Strangers. And they decided, let's make a show about her for some odd reason. And that explain that. How do you pitch that?
Well, she's an elevator attendant. She's married to a cop. She lives in a giant 7-bedroom house.
Yeah, a lot of big house for a elevator operator salary. Yeah. Cop and elevator operator, 18-story house in Chicago.
Well, this is the 80s, so not to just besmirch all cops, but he may have been getting a little money under the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a
Well,
dirty,
of course.
it's a dirty cop.
Well, he probably got some payout because Carl Winslow in Family Matters is the exact same cop from Die Hard, playing the exact same character from Die Hard of
Right.
the funny black cop. What is his name in Die Hard? Do you remember?
That one.
I don't
eludes
believe
me.
it's Carl. It would be hilarious. Die Hard.
But it's nice to
cast.
see that he
Definitely
got
not.
after he saved the building.
Oh,
on
he was
Christmas,
Al.
He
Al
put in
Powell.
he put in for a transfer, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we could use some good guys like you on the force here in Chicago."
Yeah.
And I think it probably helped him move, helped him put a down payment on the house, and
You
Bob's
want to
your
see
uncle.
something?
Not
You wanna see something
Nakatomi
weird?
Towers funded his move. Maybe.
Thank you for saving Tower.
You want to see
Thank you for
something
saving
weird?
Tower 2.
Yeah, lots of money. You move to Chicago.
Yeah, have a
do
good
that.
house. Move in your mom. Have a good time.
So they
Raise
did. They move in his
3
mom.
children, and you'll.
His name's, by the way, his name's Reginald Vell Jackson. Look at him in this photo. Look at this weird ass photo of him.
Oh,
What happened to his
wow.
head? What his skin got lighter, his mouth got bigger, his teeth got
Yeah.
larger.
I think he got fake teeth, and then it made his front, like the
His
front part
entire
of his
head changed shape.
Yeah,
Terrifying.
that'll do it. You ever see people with fake teeth that it doesn't look right? They always just have
Do they ever
too
look right?
much. No, it's like a lot of front. It's
No.
like
I can
I'm gonna
use
put
that.
another head on my head. And it's-
I'd rather that. I'd rather fake teeth than people like, remember that Ravens player, Terrell Suggs, who's like all gums? Get some fake teeth over those gums, man. I can only
They're
take so
like-
much gum when I'm looking at you and you smile and it's like, it's 75% gum. It's like, it's like, look at an alien and aliens pop out with a little mouth. Jesus Christ, tuck those
So-
gums away. And sometimes they have speckles and freckles on their gums. Oh, no.
Don,
Like,
me and
too
Dick
much
Williams
gum.
knew this kid in our fraternity in college who
where's
would
this
get
going?
drunk. I'm not going to say his name. He would get obliterated drunk, and he would
Name
fall
names.
down, and he would lose his tooth.
Oh,
And
God,
it happened
yeah.
all the time. And I remember one time he was telling a story, and he called his parents, and before he even said anything, they're like, "Did you lose your tooth again?" And they just assumed that's what happened.
Would he
And
lose
it
the?
was what happened.
It
Did
was
he
his
lose
front
his? But
tooth.
would he put a tooth back in? Like it was.
He had
No,
like a fake-
he
he had
kept
like
having to get like a fake tooth
a
put in, but he
falsie.
would not. It would happen. It probably happened 3 or 4 times in
when
college.
we had graduated, or when he was graduating, the same summer where we had, Nate riding the bike with no wheels, I believe the same guy was lying
Yeah.
passed out on a dining room table with no tooth.
Yes.
So he
So-
would constantly, I guess, fall down,
Faceplant.
and
He
his
would
tooth
get
would
beyond drunk.
his tooth would break his
And he would-
fall every time.
Yeah. He always did this thing with
if I'm
before
stuck
he
in
was
a
like,
tree.
he would start like
Oh.
bobbing and weaving like he's boxing someone in his brain.
Oh,
It's like a
dude.
spindle. Fucking guy.
They replaced his tooth and they put like a lead tooth in there, weighed him down. and-
They should have put a gyroscope in there to
Oh,
keep
they
him
should have
upright.
put like a spring in the tooth.
yeah, bounce right up.
Give it some-
yeah, like a
bounce it back
sensor.
up.
Warning: your tooth is you're swaying.
I gotta reboot my computer. This is my feed's all fucked up. Oh well.
That's hilarious. I'm
yeah.
sure the guy's watching and he feels really.
yeah.
He's like, "Ooh," and he smiles.
a-
He's got,
It happened again yesterday.
yeah. He like
A weekly thing.
They go, "Have you been eating black jelly beans?" He goes, "Nope, I just fell on my face again."
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna refresh real quick. Feed's all fucked up. I'll be back in
All
2
right,
seconds.
do
Then
that.
I'll tell you
You
about my
couldn't
sister's
even
friend who
say-
fell and knocked her teeth out 3 times.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. Talk amongst yourselves for 30 seconds.
All right.
All
So the
right.
other, I'll just continue the story that Brian was talking about for a second. He like moving out. Well, it was one of the days. It was probably like the last day of finals, in the spring semester. So a lot of people were really drunk, and he was passed out on this table, like this dining room table, and there was music like in the house system. And he had like this CD that was skipping at max volume. So it was but really, really fucking loud. And it could, from the ground floor, I could hear it on the third floor where my room was. And I come down and see what the fuck's going on, and he's passed out there. Meanwhile, this other kind of like more straight-laced kid was having his parents help him move out, and they had to walk by this guy passed out on the table, listening to some death metal
CD.
music on skip. I don't think he lived there again the next year.
Oh no! What a fun time!
At the best.
All right, so real quick, then we'll get back into the show. My sister's friend, I'll just call her S, who used to walk around in New York City. And of course, it gets icy in New York City, but they go out and get blitzed hammered. And she would always walk down the street with her hands in her pockets so they didn't get too chilly. And no fewer than 3 times, either just straight walking, slipped on ice and smashed her face, knocked her teeth out. One time getting into a taxi, slipped, smashed her face on the door, knocked her teeth out. And I believe a second time, fell on the ice, knocked her teeth out. So that's a lesson to you. If you're in icy conditions, guys, don't walk drunk with your hands in your pockets. Keep them out at all times.
How about after the first time, you're like, I'll wear gloves.
That's a good idea.
How about wear a fucking mouth guard like a goddamn running back? That's the other thing.
Have your friend bring a mouth guard. Be like, all right, you're really drunk. You put in your mouth guard now. Wear a helmet.
You know what? I found that when women are drunk, they don't like when you force things into their mouths, Rico. That's just something I picked up over.
How do they get over it though?
So here's an idea.
Then you marry them. If they're fine with it, you marry them.
Shark Tank
idea.
Shark Tank. We need a mouthpiece that's got a straw in it for the drunkards so that they could just be constantly protected, but then they could go with their proboscis like straw and continue to drink. But no matter what, if they fall or slam into a door, their teeth are protected. I mean,
I like it.
That's a great idea. Let me tell you.
I'm in.
Unfortunately, the market, from what I've kind of gathered, is 2 people in the country. So,
well,
unless they keep needing to buy them,
that's the thing is those 2 people they're putting dentist kids through college.
It's like a bike helmet where you can only crack it once and then you have to replace it.
Yeah, I remember that. That's a story. Sad story
from the manufacturers of the helmet.
I went to a school where a kid lost his life on a bicycle. He got hit by a car. So that's kind of sad. But then the school in all their infinite wisdom says we should have a bike safety assembly. And so they got all the kids in the auditorium and they go, this is the importance of bike safety. And they go through the hand signals and all that nonsense. And then the woman goes to get a watermelon and she gets a watermelon and puts a bike helmet on there. And she proceeds to drop it and then says, if your friend was wearing a helmet, this wouldn't have happened to him. And she drops the helmet on the ground.
Are you serious?
It was the weirdest thing. It's like, being shamed into wearing a bike helmet after a kid dies using a watermelon as a human skull example. And that is your tax dollars at work.
Hopefully that has been doged out. That kind of
I guess they go. They give the money out, but then they're like, I don't know. Let's teach these kids.
We spent $1 billion on watermelons for bicycle safety classes. What are we doing?
It was weird. Even like the 6th grade kids, like you're like, this is not right. This shouldn't be. We all know what went wrong. We don't need you to show us a watermelon and a bike helmet. Idiots.
Did you ever see that? It was like a viral video of a guy who's like, all right, I'm playground testing. And he has like a baby and like a little baby doll, and he just goes around the playground, smashing its head into things, and riding it down the slide. And he's like dangerous. He just like puts his head between the bars and yanks on it. The head pops off.
That does remind me of One of the best Jackass amongst all the other great Jackass bits was when Johnny Knoxville would have the baby carrier with the fake baby in the car, and he would start to drive away with it, and people would be like waving him down. You have a man. He'd like get out and he'd go, oh no, and he'd take the baby down. It's such a good bit. Oh man.
All right. Anyway, back to Family Matters. There's a baby in that show too. My feed still fuck it. I don't know what's going on.
Did you restart your computer?
I restart it. I don't know how long it's going to take to restart in the middle of a live show.
How about you restart it? We'll just talk about Family Matters because every other word you say is breaking up. So just restart the computer and we'll see you when you get back.
Sounds good.
Make yourself a martini while it's restarting.
All right.
Well, Family Matters takes me back to when I was a kid. I remember watching it on the TGIF.
TGIF.
It was also part of that lineup. I think it was the second show.
I think you're right. I think it was Full House.
Yeah.
Then Family Matters. There was Step by Step for a while.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
And there was always like a fourth show that was never really caught on. I think I can't remember.
Yeah, that was always the slot. It was always Full House was I think their strongest one. So it led you in. Family Matters, Step by Step. Boy, I can't really think of another one. Maybe for a while there, Perfect Strangers was on, but then they moved it out. We'll have to do some looking into it.
Yeah, we'll have to research that.
It was also good that if you remember around those times, Nickelodeon took a page out of their book and then did the Saturday night Nickelodeon. They called it Snick. And they would have, I think, from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock with Doug, Rugrats, I think Ren and Stimpy. But the crown jewel was Are You Afraid of the Dark? Do you remember that?
I don't remember watching like any of those shows. But Saturday night, in my defense, when I was younger, that was a WCW Championship Wrestling Saturday night. So I was busy. I was busy watching Lex Luger getting beat up by the Four Horsemen.
I watched a lot of the WCW Monday Nitro. That's where I would.
Yes, that was a later.
Yeah. I must have got into it after that. And then it was funny how you'd have two competing wrestling federations and they would show their garbage on the same night. You couldn't just have another night.
No, they were trying to take each other out of business. And I could go down many rabbit holes with this, but that'll be a day for another show for another day, I think. One thing I was thinking when I was watching this, and I thought like TGIF, were people just a lot lamer in the 80s, like families? Like, oh, it's TGIF. We're just going to sit and watch sitcoms for the next 2 hours. 8 to 10.
I think so. We didn't have.
Doesn't sound fun.
The idea of hanging out with your family for 2 hours watching TV, it's got to be for the families. Because I remember when I got my own TV in my bedroom, that was the best day of my life. Because then I didn't have to watch any of the programming that my parents watched. And that's what, made me the person I am today. Basically watching Jay Leno and Conan O'Brien after hours. And then also a lot of those old Cartoon Network was a very big part
Adult
too.
Swim?
Exactly. Yeah, you'd watch Adult Swim. It was later, but that was a weird thing, right? You'd actually like watch TV. That was what those shows were. It was a program that was funny for children, but also the parents could watch. Like we haven't done this show yet, but maybe Home Improvement. No, Home Improvement wasn't part of TGIF. I think it had its own night. I think it was on Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's a Tuesday show.
Yeah, that's like the other big night for TV is Tuesday.
So Family Matters. What was I'm trying to remember. I wrote down some notes. Oh, okay. So the main plot was Grandma comes to live. Carl Winslow's mom comes to live with them for some reason. They explain it. I forget.
Yeah, I
And
guess
he
they're
already has a pretty
her-
full house, and he's got like what 3 kids, and then
he's got his 3 kids. He's got a sister-in-law, and she's got her own kid,
yeah, and her
baby
husband
Richie.
tragically died. Apparently, they kind of just glossed over that, so that's why she came to live with them.
I
He got
think he was maybe a drug dealer, and Carl Winslow shot him as a cop. And then he
makes
goes,
for some awkward
"Oh,
dynamic around
you should probably come live with
at
us now."
Christmas.
Yeah, no, they never allude to that, but yeah, he's dead. They make it. The Carl Winslow and his mom have a conversation where she, she's reminded, oh, after Dad died, blah blah blah. So she's essentially a widow. She raised all those kids, and at the early part of the episode, Carl Winslow is not a fan of the idea that his mom is going to come to live with him, which is what any normal man would feel. And he starts naming his other brothers. Hey, you should go live with so and so in New York, or so and so in the other town. Like, maybe,
Meanwhile,
yeah,
she's in a cab on the way to his house. It's like,
yeah,
you probably should have thought of these
you're right.
a little bit earlier.
His other plan was let's move to Miami because she hates bugs.
That's a good plan too.
He's
I
all
would
over the
second that.
place. Yeah,
And he
I would love
predicts,
to. Yeah,
he predicts what she's going to do when she gets there.
that's
He
right.
predicts that she's going to be a pain in the ass and have a lot of complaints. She's going to tell his fat ass to get on a diet. And
That's right.
And she did when he
right.
asked for iced tea of all things.
Yeah, and she she doesn't drink caffeine, she said, because it messes with her innards. She is a nice woman to the grandkids, but then she is a nightmare to the mom and dad, which is what you'd expect. And then there's a funny subplot where the boy, Eddie, he wants to go to his friend's house for a party. And his dad goes, well, first the kid wants to do a bunch of chores, right? He goes, oh, I'm going to wash your car and take out the trash and do all this stuff. And then the dad says, hey, wait a minute. What'd you do with our son? Because you're never this nice. There's got to be some kind of catch. And the catch is he wants to go to a party. And then this dad goes, yeah, you can go to your friend's house. He goes, just make sure you're home by 10, your curfew. And then he finds out the kid wants to stay out later. And he goes, how long do you want to stay out at your friend's house? He goes, I want to stay until 2 a.m.
Okay, a couple problems with that right away. One,
yeah,
I thought the 10 o'clock curfew seemed a little ridiculous for a 15-year-old.
The kid's 15. That's like already too late,
10.
right?
Yeah, so it's dumb on that end of the spectrum. And then also, Eddie, you want to go to a house till 2? Like,
yeah.
When you're that age, you'd be like, can I sleep over at my friend's house? Like,
that makes
what
sense.
parent wants to be like, yeah, stay till 2. And so I have to wait up for you to call me to get a ride home, you fucking moron.
Right.
No, just sleep over there and let that other kid's parents worry about you.
Yeah. Then you find out the reason why he wants to stay, because he tells the grandma he wants to stay there because they just want to watch TV. They want to watch the Rambo movie marathon. And he says, but the marathon doesn't start until 9:30 and I have to be home by 10. And then grandma says, oh, that's lame. Rambo won't even blow anybody up by then.
Which yes, grandma came through in that situation.
Good joke. Yeah,
it was. It also seemed, why are we starting something at 9:30? Whatever. I mean, we're getting too into the weeds with Eddie's friends. Carl was being a little ridiculous, but she made him see the error of his ways, I think.
Yeah.
So Carl came around.
Yeah, she manipulated Carl, because when they're having dinner, she's against going to the party at first, and she says to Eddie, what do you want to go to this party for? Is it going to be beers and girls there? And then he goes, no, we're just going to watch TV. And then grandma goes, just watch TV? That's lame. You should go. And then that
should have used some kind of, what do you? I can't use the word on this show that I would say normally, but some kind of pussy.
What are you? Some kind
what kind of party is this?
Yeah, back in my day, we would be hanging out all hours of the night doing all sorts of things.
Yeah, blowing
all right.
dicks everywhere.
If I talk, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with my computer or the feed tonight. It's just fucked up. If I talk, are you hearing me in real time at least? Is it delayed?
It's funny because it's like you're a Japanese dubbed character.
Yeah.
Say, you killed my brother.
Well, hopefully all of our
iPad.
thousands of live watchers aren't minding it. Wait.
No.
Just to go back, I probably missed a lot. Well, of course I missed a lot trying to get this shit to work. But did you know that the original theme song, which is great, right, was supposed to be "What a Wonderful World" by Louis Armstrong?
I did not know that.
And they ran the first 5 episodes with "What a Wonderful World" until people were like, "That's kind of depressing to start this." Have a theme song.
Show.
Yeah, the other song's way more upbeat.
Well, let's ask Brian some trivia. Can you name the 4 shows on TGIF?
Yeah.
Friends. That was the anchor. TGIF, yeah.
You mean 100%. Full House?
Now you're.
Oh wait, Friends is Thursdays on NBC, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Go back like
confusing my TGIFs years. and my Thursday NBC lineup. Okay.
That was must see TV.
Yeah, you're right. Let's see. Oh God. So Step by Step. Family Matters.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm blanking on the name. You just said it, and I
just said it,
and I'm completely blanking on it.
Say a character
with Bob Saget.
Yeah, Full House.
Yeah,
Full House, and then oh God, what was the last one?
We never figured it out.
Yeah, that's the one where
I think it was a rotating.
Maybe
was he on TGI
on there?
I don't know.
We're gonna have
Yeah.
We know it was 4.
Living Single. No, I don't think it was Living
Single.
No,
that was I think that was a Fox show, Living Single.
Yeah. Damn, I don't remember. Well, somebody figure it out. Throw it out.
I think Rico's looking it up because his not on a delay.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, there was a rotating one. It said some of these were Boy Meets World.
That's the one.
The Teenage Witch, Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Nailed it. Yes, I knew it.
So,
yeah. Boy Meets World, though, that was a big one. I think that ran for a while. I remember
the ugliest character in all of television. Like, Kevin on the Wonder Years, because it was his brother that was in it. It was like, Jonky Savage or whatever was in Boy Meets World.
I think his name was Ben Savage.
Ben Savage. He was savagely ugly. Like little Kevin McAllister, he was cute when he was little, then progressively got
Kevin
Savage
McAllister's
syndrome.
From
started ugly and stayed
Home Alone.
Ugly. Yeah. Oh yeah, Kevin McAllister's Home Alone. What the fuck was his
You're
name?
thinking of Kevin Arnold.
Kevin Arnold, thank you. Kevin Arnold. Kevin Arnold was cute and got ugly. Ben Savage from Boy Meets World started ugly and stayed ugly. He reminds me of the kid in So I Married an Axe Murderer. The kid who's like, you look like an orange on a toothpick head. That one.
Don't remember.
It's great.
That's too old. I haven't seen that
it's
movie
a great
in a
movie.
while.
So I Married an Axe Murderer, fantastic film.
It did sound like you were doing Fat Bastard, though, from...
Well, that's what it.
He based
Michael Myers based Fat Bastard off of the dad in So I Married an Axe Murderer.
See, that wouldn't surprise me. A lot of those character, actors from skits, right? They have a few voices and they just keep recycling them, which is great. I can't do it. Props to them.
Anyway, should we finish off Family Matters?
Yeah, we'll finish it off. One thing it reminded me of
himself. That's an interesting way to be heard.
One thing that this show reminded me of those 80s and 90s sitcoms is
my computer's randomly disconnected all my audio.
Just email the link to yourself and join on an iPad. Like enough of this computer. Computer sucks. Yeah.
I think you've been watching too much anime porn on your computer. Yeah. It's tainted.
It's all the old virus.
Got to be some window open somewhere that's fucking this shit up badly.
I think it's called you porn.
No, I don't watch porn on this.
That's what they all say.
Do you make porn on it? Because something's going on with it.
That's for tonight. That's for the After Hours first episode
Right.
podcast.
But the thing
first
that I
porno
thought,
pod.
so the show progresses. The Winslows are in turmoil because the grandma lives there. But then there's the heart to heart. Input output. Yeah. Shove it up your ass, Brian. And then they have the heart to heart, like every 90s sitcom, where you can tell because the music comes on and it's very soft drama-y music, where they found the middle point or the coming together. The mom is accepting Carl for who he is, and Carl is accepting his mom for who she is. And it just reminded me of all those
and accepting their son as a hey, it's working now. And accepting his son, the funniest part of the whole show, by the way, accepting his son is a peeping pervert, because apparently the son's in the attic.
That is a good part.
When he's lurking, so that Carl Winslow talks to the mom, and he's like, I got to be my own man, and it was a nice moment. He said touching moment, because as parents are always viewing their kids as kids, and you can't stop doing that. And we all know you still fight with your parents because they're like, well, my dad, every goddamn time I go to Vegas, we're talking about going to Vegas for the show. Hey, careful, don't spend too much money. I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, 45, yeah. Like, shut the fuck up! Stop telling me this every
Spend as much money as I want
every time. Yeah. All right. Well, that's always the plan, isn't it?
Brian, just so you know, those strippers, they don't really like you. They're just saying what they got to say to get your money.
Oh,
you can lose a lot of money in Vegas gambling. Just so you know. He actually may meet me in Vegas for work, which would be funny. But
so you know that the house has an advantage playing any of the games.
God damn it! Every time I go. So anyway, Carl Winslow goes and his mom tells him, like, hey, chill party. And he goes to talk to his son, and his son's in the attic now because he gave his room up to the grandma. And the attic's, by the way, 1,000,000 times better.
Yeah.
That's the sweetest attic I've ever seen.
Wouldn't want that attic.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It sucked giving up my room, so I live in this sweet ass attic that's like my own apartment.
Yeah,
I have like
giant attic
with
with windows. You can peep on apparently hot neighbors that are naked walking around. He tracks this. Right. He's got binoculars up as they're waiting for Carl to come in and talk to him, and you see him go, oh wait, don't go in the other room, and then he runs to the other window, and he's like, oh, all right. Yeah. Then Dad comes in. He puts binoculars down. Yeah, my favorite part of the episode was where Carl Winslow walks binoculars up and looks out the window, and he goes, oh my. And then he puts it down and goes, anyway.
Yeah. And he takes the binoculars. He goes, I'm going to need these on my next stakeout.
Yeah.
So he's going to actually just look out the window one level lower.
He's going to build a treehouse
in his room. Yeah. Quick side note on that attic. I thought it was funny that they had a giant grandfather clock up there.
Yes.
That didn't work. But then also on the main floor of the house, they also have a giant grandfather clock that also doesn't work.
They need
it's
to go to the Ritz and talk with Balky Bartakamis.
No.
Yeah. I can fix anything.
Maybe this is another feeder show into Webster, because you'll recall there was a clock that opened up into a secret passage in Webster's house.
Whoa. Maybe.
All
black people's houses are connected through clocks. No. That's it. Oh, it makes sense. Gosh.
All of our black viewers, let us know if that's true.
Yes, is this true? Could you go through your clock?
Crystal Ball, if you're out there.
All white people can go through a wardrobe and go into a magical wonderland of ice with lions, but that's for whites. So it's different for whites than it is for blacks.
Oh, God. This is how I get canceled. They go through the clock into a magical wonderland, instantly slaved. You're like,
oh, no, back in time.
Every time this magical world.
I should have never made that left turn at Albuquerque.
I would have used a joke like maybe the black people's clocks are all at different times. And that explains why black people are never on time.
Oh, that could be. That could be. Yeah,
But
they are.
It's got to be workshopped a little bit.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah, we can't hear.
Let us know. Send your angry letters to Brian McWilliams, everybody.
It's on you. It's kind of
very
funny.
good. I like that it's muting Brian automatically.
Yeah.
Brian's
just
getting
type
muted.
what you want to say.
Yeah.
Am I being hacked? Like, what is fucking happening? It just randomly is like, guess what? I'm turning your mic off. My computer's looking out for me. It's like you're about to say something super racist you're gonna get canceled for. And
my computer still works fine.
Dude, I don't know what's fine until right now. I don't know what's like. There's got to be some program that's just fucking it up.
Are you using a gateway computer from the old days? The cow print
Apple IIgs.
Yeah,
you got to put a boot up disk in.
A Commodore.
I don't even know, man. It's fucking crazy. I'll figure it out later, but it would be funny if Webster was popping out of black people's clocks and setting the time differently whenever they had to meet somebody. That would be very funny.
Like I had a meeting at 11. They always get mad at me for this.
Yeah. Fired again.
All right. So anyway, at the end,
no. There was one other thing we have to talk about in Family Matters.
The Baptist church song.
Well, yeah. Besides them singing around the piano at night,
I like how when old school shows have somebody playing the piano and their arms aren't moving, so it's fun. This little light of mine.
How do we not mention that Grandma Winslow has the same kind of intestinal functioning as Brian McWilliams? Everything gives her the shits.
I'll have you know
7 times.
And I was gonna say I haven't had the shits in a while, but I forgot I had diarrhea yesterday.
I've had the shit since 20 minutes ago.
Don't you know I've had the run since Easter's? Fantastic movie, Nacho Libre reference.
You should get some FiberCon.
I take fiber. I'm fine. I'm completely fine. This butthole.
What about those Metamucil cookies? I think those are good for geezers.
I'm a young, beautiful man, Don.
Oh.
Can't you see? Is my computer cutting out that badly?
Like it freezes on you doing old man face.
Now then, I wanted to say this was sadly pre-Urkel days.
Yes.
So we didn't get to see an Urkel, but for those of you that don't know, the background of this episode, if you're watching online, is the wonderful Grok made me a picture of Urkel as Daredevil, and I gotta say it's fantastic stuff.
It's a good art.
I was thinking the reason I wanted to make that is because I was thinking like, how funny would it be if Steve Urkel did become Daredevil? Because he could just go around beating people up, but also just being a complete klutz. And it's like,
I do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's an episode where he does dress like a superhero. I think for one, because he is a nerd. I think he cosplays as like a masked crusader for one episode.
He's already got the glasses. And it's like he saves the city, and then you hear this from the rooftops echoing, "Did I do that?"
Did you guys did you ever watch the show?
He's the hero the city deserves.
Oh, nice. It froze with that. Good. There was an episode where Urkel, I think, put himself through like a transformation chamber, like the thing that Michael Jackson would sleep in, and then he came out
a hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, and then he comes out as Stefan, where he was cool.
I remember that episode.
Yeah,
those are very funny. Where he was
man.
he was able to completely change his whole personality.
Yeah, he came smooth as silk. Real player.
Right, and then I guess I think the girl liked him, Laura Winslow.
Laura Winslow. Whoa, did they replace her at some point? Because the one chick on this had a huge forehead. Goofy looking.
I think she just got better hair and maybe grew into her face.
Maybe.
It
Do any of you
happens,
guys
too.
jerk off to Aunt Rachel, by the way? Because I 100% did as a kid.
No, I was too young.
I did there. I went there. I did that.
Good for you. Who was Eddie's goofy friend? Do you remember that character?
Yeah, I do remember that character. And then he would always, I can't remember, but he had kind of like an absent-minded look to him.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah, he was a good
"Whoa."
character too. They really, I mean, they
Yeah,
started
what-
off with some decent characters, and they even added to it over the years.
That's why Urkel's one of the few characters ever added to a show. They're like, we need to spice it up. Like, unlike Poochie on The Simpsons, like Urkel actually added something to it.
Mm-hmm. Urkel was a great ad.
Let's grade this thing because we got to move on to Daredevil.
Let's grade it.
I think Daredevil's the new show. People are like tuning in. They're like, oh, they're going to talk about Daredevil. They're like, oh, they spent 45 minutes talking about family matters as Brian popped in.
Well, 15 minutes of it was talking about your computer.
Yeah.
And people's teeth falling out.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
That's
also,
valuable.
your computer is from when the show Family Matters was new. So that
My
could be why
computer
it-
is fucking new, jerk off. That's what pisses me off. I don't know what was happening tonight. All right, what do you give it? What's your grade? I'll start. B-. Solid, but could have used more jokes. The jokes weren't landing enough for me. B-. It got better as it went along. It went along, but this was a B- for me.
No, I'll give it a B because I thought they were doing a good job. The jokes were good. I chuckled a few times, and yeah, I mean, it could have been better, but it wasn't bad. I mean, it was, for the time it was 1989, it was classic sitcom, watchable. I enjoyed it. So I give it a B.
Yeah, I was going to give it a B- too. I didn't think it was that funny, but also it's geared towards probably a younger family audience, like especially in the 80s. So judging on that, it was probably like a B+ for its time. The characters were reasonably well developed enough. There's a decent plot, a decent concept for the show. I wasn't like laughing hysterically or anything about it, but I think for what it was a solid show. And Eddie's friend, Waldo.
Now we know where he was, but we don't know where he is.
He's strapped at a clock somewhere.
Where is he now?
All right, moving on to Daredevil. Daredevil Born Again. I never watched the original Daredevil. Did you? I never read the comics. I think I owned one, and I was a big Marvel comic guy. Daredevil, I was like, I don't know. This guy's blind with a stick. It's not grabbing
Yeah, so
all blind guys got a stick.
Exactly. All these blind guys got sticks. Why is it so special with this blind guy?
I realized after like 5 minutes into this show, I'm like, you know what? I have just never cared about Daredevil. Never watched the Daredevil movie. The one Daredevil, I think, with the guy from Walking Dead, Shane, I watched like half an episode of that.
That was Punisher.
This was kind of like a continuation.
Yeah, that was Punisher. They had a different the guy from The Leftovers was the Daredevil in the Netflix one, wasn't he?
Maybe
it was the same guy, same Daredevil in the
I thought
Netflix one.
Different Daredevil. No.
Yeah, and then they had this Daredevil, and I was like, I watched this. After 5 minutes into the show, I'm like, I cannot make this. I was so bored.
Agreed.
Immediately.
Yep.
I'm just not into the character. I don't fucking care about any of the characters in the show. And just to be a spoiler, this was a DNF for me. I'm like, this is an hour? Nope. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm already miserable. I watched half
You hear that,
hour.
viewers? That's on you. We need to be getting paid for this so as Rico finishes these shows.
Why am I doing this to myself? I don't enjoy this show at all. It's doing nothing for me.
All right, cost you money to have this subscription to watch.
That's true. Let me echo Rico because I have a feeling, as he always does, that Don's going to be the contrarian here and be like, "I loved it. I can't wait to watch more." But I agree.
I didn't love it, but I did watch the first Daredevils that were on Netflix. So when Netflix was doing Marvel shows before Disney bought them, they were better in my opinion. It seems like now Disney's trying to pivot, make themselves a little bit more edgy, and have this character come back. I thought it started good with the attack, a lot of fighting, which is what you want to see in a superhero movie.
Well, hold on. Let me go back a second.
Into...
Let me go back a second. So for Daredevil, I'm sure everybody knows who Daredevil is. He's a blind superhero with super hearing, and that's apparently how he fights crime and he can hear things. So they have this whole scene where he's like, I'm in a bar and he's hanging out, and there's this super hot redhead who used to be in True Blood. She still looks fantastic, by the way.
She's also in the original ones before
the Netflix ones.
Had too. Yeah,
good to know. So
yeah, they kind of
hot.
Yeah, they brought. It seemed like you're watching the old ones, and then they just really got crappy.
Yes,
but yeah, she is a very good looking lady.
She's very good looking. So they're lawyers, and they're at a bar, and all of a sudden, and by the way, just throw this out there, what I would rather see for a lawyer show with a blind lawyer would be Elaine Bennis from Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus playing her blind character from Arrested Development, where she's pretending to be blind to get ahead at lawyering. That I would watch.
See, that's an homage to Daredevil.
That I would watch every season. Can we make a show about her blind?
I think
lawyer that's not really blind?
That could be our next episode for an old show. We should do.
Oh, Arrested Development.
No, Veep.
Gladly. My favorite shows in the face
Veep
of the
is good too.
So Veep, I've never watched Veep. We can do Veep.
You're in for a treat.
A treat. So
a Veep treat.
A Veep treat. So anyway, like the Goof Troop. So anyway, they're at a bar and they're hanging out, and Daredevil, because his super hearing, well, his best friend goes outside to take a phone call, and somehow fucking Daredevil can hear through a crowded bar, through a pane of glass, to a guy outside having a quiet conversation on the phone. That's fucking stupid. Stupid. I don't care how super hearing your human hearing is. Stupid.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, yada, yada, and then he gets shot.
Some others. Yeah.
They kill him. They kill his best friend. He gets shot. And then Daredevil's like, oh, no, I got to. Well, before he gets shot, he's like, I hear some things. And he runs off in the wrong direction. Nice job, dumb devil. His friend gets shot in the chest. And then he's like, oh, I'm coming back. So he comes back and he's fighting with this guy. And the guy throws 800 knives into him. Easily 6,000 knives. Like Daredevil's got 8 knives in him. Now remember, he's got super hearing, and I guess he's strong and good at things, but to the best of my knowledge, he is not Wolverine. So how you have 8 knives stuck in your fucking body? And
it's like a protective, like how Batman would have, like a.
Also, when he left the bar, he was like in a very urgent matter. Like, I gotta get to this guy and save him.
Yeah.
But he was wearing street clothes.
Yeah.
When he got to the place where he was going, he was wearing his Daredevil outfit. So
a thick leather, padded, armored superhero outfit. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Where's this flying superpower?
How did you have time to change? This is life or death here.
Yeah, it's not like Superman who can change like in the blink of an eye.
He's got Daredevil costumes hidden all over the city. And no one ever moves them, because you got to really remember things when you're blind.
And it's never like, it'd be more funny if it was on backwards because he's blind and he put it on fast. It's like,
the tag sticking out the whole time.
Yeah,
it's like Hanes medium.
Right. Oh, I got my head on wrong because he can't see.
Shirt tucked into his underwear.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Derp Devil. He's like,
hands off her.
His shit stained underpants on Inside Out.
Yeah, it's like he still got his name tag from work.
Yeah. Also, this vigilante. So he beats up the guy who kills his friend, and they're fighting. It's a really long scene, too damn long to be honest. But it was entertaining in that the bad guy was just like punching pregnant women all over the place. But he kills the guy, right? Or he tries to kill the guy. He throws him off the roof. He tries to kill him.
Yeah. So how didn't he kill him? So I had closed captioning on, and it said the guy's name was Bullseye. So I assume that's a super villain.
He's a super sniper.
He's a Marvel villain
because he got thrown off like a 10-story building.
Yeah, and lived after being stabbed and beat up and all this other shit.
Just had a couple broken arms still at sentencing a year later.
Right.
No, I think they were just containing his hands so that he can't throw stuff because he could, turn anything into a weapon.
A pen, even.
Why
Yeah,
did
he
just
killed-
slit his throat with one of the
Well,
knives.
because he's Daredevil,
Because
because he gave into his darker side, which they talk about later in the episode. But he didn't want to go down there. He couldn't go down in front of everybody and just kill him because he's Daredevil and he's a vigilante, Rico, and no one can know his secret identity. But that's one of the things that was so stupid is that he kicks this guy off the roof, thinking he's killed him, and then, I don't know, like throws his Daredevil helmet off the roof, which falls down right in the middle of a bunch of fucking people, covered in his own blood. So you know what? I got a feeling that the police will be able to piece that one together, Daredevil. You're a lawyer. Shouldn't you have some idea of like maybe you don't want to leave evidence on the crime scene and drop your Daredevil hat covered in your own blood on the crime scene? Just suggested, but apparently they couldn't piece that together because he's still free and nobody knows who Daredevil is. It's not this blind lawyer with the red glasses on who's always around. It's not that guy.
Didn't see anything, he says.
So anyway, flash
hey, blind
forward.
guy, where did you run off to in the middle of this call? That was weird, don't you think? That you ran off somewhere and then came back after.
Well, what was happening is though,
such a hurry.
the guy that got shot, his friend, he was
who took forever to die, just for
he did take a while to die. So he had put one of their clients in his apartment. And the client calls him saying, someone's coming into my apartment and they're coming to get me. And Daredevil he hears him like on speakerphone. And then he hears some kind of commotion. So he goes, oh, I'm going to rush over to the apartment. But then as he's rushing over to the apartment, the guy on the phone says to the lawyer that was his apartment, says, I'm sorry, I told him where you are. And so then the guy must have left as Daredevil's going to the apartment. Bullseye leaves the apartment and then shoots the guy who was on the phone as Daredevil's off the scene. Then he comes back, catches him up with it, and then they have that battle in the building. So it was all kind of like a setup to get him.
Why they wanted to kill that random lawyer?
That's going to come up in the whole thing. That's how these shows work, is that some nonsense happens early on.
It wasn't grabbing, right? I wrote down, this is slow moving. I'm intrigued, but I'm not going to keep watching. Like, because you stopped watching, Rico. So Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio, who, by the way, I just watched Adventures in Babysitting for the first time, where Vincent D'Onofrio is this like greased up like hunk. And it's hilarious when you see who Vincent D'Onofrio has become. He's like all greased up as like a mechanic, and he's like, pecs out and a low cut tank top, like, hey.
I've never seen that.
Baywatch just rejected him.
Then he discovered pasta.
Yeah.
All downhill.
Pasta in the skull shaver.
Yeah, so Vincent D'Onofrio is the Kingpin, and I guess he was a lot fatter in the first one, like in the comic books. But again, I didn't watch him. But he's a good actor. He comes into it. He runs for mayor as a crime boss, gone straight, I guess, and people are like all like, "Yay, we like him. He's going to clean the city up." It's I think a veiled thing on the Trump thing, which of course everything.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Everything
especially since they had blue hats that said "Fisk can fix it." So essentially, it was like a play on the MAGA hats and everything. Yeah,
but it wasn't. It was tolerable the way they did it. So he wins, and it's like, oh, it's Mayor Kingpin, and he sits down with Daredevil because they've had their fights in the past, and Daredevil's like, hey. I'm watching you. And Kingpin's like, I'm a changed man. And he's like, well, in case you're not, I'm Daredevil, but not really because I stopped being Daredevil, but I can always become Daredevil. And that was like the end of the episode. And I was like, this is fucking gay.
Yeah, they got to do something.
That was it for me.
Yeah, the end, it started good, but they ended it so poorly because it just kind of dragged on. They brought in a romantic interest.
Oh, yeah. Thank God they spent 20 minutes on that bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, they got to make it. I just feel like it's going to get ruined because that's what Disney does to any good story. They just take it and bash it into nonsense that's terrible.
It was awful.
It's a comic
It
book.
was-
It should just
it
be
wasn't awful.
action. It should
Yeah.
be action and fun. That's what
Thank
comic
you.
books are for.
Thank you. Even at the end, they
yeah.
had a chance to have him kick a little ass at the end to make it interesting. And because there's like all the people in the streets, like, yeah. And he like some guy, like he pushes a guy out of the way because there's kind of like people fighting in the street. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe he's going to get in a little tussle here to give us a little taste of the action after nothing's happened for 35, 40 minutes. And then he's like, I'm just going to keep walking straight.
And we know what's going to happen. Eventually, he's going to turn back into Daredevil like every other hero does. Where they go, I'm taking the mask off, but then they put the mask on. Do it in the first episode, for God's sakes. Make him fight again. That was the best part of the show, is when he was fighting in the beginning.
Yeah, it doesn't make me want to keep watching it.
I'll still watch
it. And I'm not going to. I know you will. I knew you were going to say that because I know
There's nothing else to watch.
There's a lot of other things to watch.
5 million shows per week.
They're all terrible. I'm
Easily.
watching, like, all I do is watch the same old shows that I love, and just again,
all right. Well, which one? All right. Well, I started off. I'll give my same grade, or I'll give my grade first. I give it a C.
Okay.
It wasn't unwatchable. It wasn't pure trash, but it's one of them like,
yeah, I'm with you. I give it a C also. For that episode, I'm hoping if I continue to watch it, it'll get better, but we'll see. There was an image where it shows that the Punisher character does show back up, which I think they're trying to trick me into watching more. So we'll see what happens.
Trick you into anything.
No, I'm pretty agreeable.
Yeah, exactly.
when Don married his wife, she went, as soon as he signed the papers to be married, she went, how do you shoot the devil in the back, Agent Kenyon? What if you miss? And then danced away. That's a weird reference, but I think funny.
Well, that makes one of us.
She's like Kaiser Soze. She Kaiser Soze you.
I give it a D. I don't think there was anything technically bad about it. Like the shot well and the characters were decent actors and all that. I was just bored from the get-go. Yeah. Don said it started off good. I disagree. I looked at my phone and it was like 2 minutes, 19 seconds how long it ran. I'm like, I don't know. It just didn't grab my attention at all. The bar scene was boring as hell.
Even the fight scene was boring, right? It's like you can't see much because it's like dark. I'm like, who's who? And I just see us throwing knives, and he's like, "Whoa, I'll whack away the knife with my stick, and then I'm gonna punch you, and then another knife." It was a boring fight scene. Even it was like everything about it was boring.
Yeah. Then. Like I watched until Vincent D'Onofrio was like the maybe his wife or something was running a meeting, and then Vincent D'Onofrio interrupted it, and like even the interaction between him and his wife was boring. I was like, I've done enough. I've put in my time. I don't need to be bored to death. I don't care about this character or the villain or anything about this show. So
you miss at the end. Urkel shows up.
Well, I'm fast forwarding till the end.
He was actually Kingpin's campaign manager. When he won the mayor, he went, "Did I do that?"
At least Brian's computer freezes on the best parts. It's when you're stuck doing a face.
Did it? God damn.
Yeah, it was great. It was on your Urkel face.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's something with my internet tonight. It's just fucked up. Well, all right. So moving on. Yeah, that show is a huge disappointment. I'm not going to watch more of it. But what do you guys want to watch? So we had thrown out some other shows last time. My Name is Earl, Malcolm in the Middle, 30 Rock, and SNL. So those are old shows we can do.
SNL from the
SNL.
70s?
The first SNL.
God, good luck finding that.
I don't know. It would be entertaining.
Probably
so
somewhere.
Those are also Life Goes On with Corky. Oh no, not with Corky, with Chris. The one with the guy from Something About Mary, Chris something or other.
Chris Elliott.
What was
the show with Corky though? That was like my mom used to watch that show.
Yeah.
That was like the first show that featured a Down syndrome actor.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me Corky.
How many shows are there? How
They
many
even named
It
him
was. Oh, it was
Corky.
Life Goes On. So wait, what was the
Okay.
one I'm thinking of? That the Corky is in Life Goes
You're
On.
thinking of the
What was
Get a
Chris
Life?
Elliott.
Get
Yeah,
a
maybe
life.
it's Get a Life.
Get a Life. That was very funny. Yeah.
Where are you gonna?
So, all
Is
right.
that even on anywhere? Get a
Yeah,
Life.
I can imagine.
I mean, I honestly, I would love to review Life Goes On, but I don't think we should.
Yeah.
Because it just
Probably.
would be terrible.
Your first ones were. What about Family Ties?
Well, we just did. Well, we just did like a
How many
show.
families do we got to do?
Yeah,
What
I
about-
don't want to. I don't.
I
We just
think we
did.
should
I don't want to
do-
do another show in that vein. I'd rather do
What about-
something like 30 Rock that's more recent, or My Name Is Earl, or Get a Life, like something, or Will and Grace. Can still do Will and Grace.
We should do Veep because that is a show from a while back, which is, I think,
Yeah. I mean, it's good.
it's on HBO.
I'll
I
watch
know that.
Veep.
All right, so
Um,
let's do Veep, and then any new shows you guys seen pop
Yeah.
out?
Get a
that you wanna
Life
do?
is on Tubi, so we could add that at some point.
That's
in
how
time.
you
All right.
know it's.
I also want to
great.
watch Just Shoot Me at some. I've never watched that.
Oh, Just Shoot Me is funny. Just Shoot Me is what I used to watch as a lead into Cougar Town, which we all loved.
I also love Just Shoot Me. It's got David Spade, one of my
He's great.
favorites.
So fun.
It's the other David Spade show that's really good is Rules of Engagement, which is hilarious as well.
I've never watched that either. So many.
Whoa,
much
you've
TV?
never watched that?
How
Oh,
much
dude.
TV do you watch in a day, Don? I'm fascinated by this.
17 hours.
You must have like double TVs going just to watch everything.
Yeah. I've watched it all. I mean, when you hate your family, you just watch TV.
You know what? Okay, wait. Okay, a couple. Let me throw a couple at you. Here's the new shows coming out. Devil May Cry. We haven't done any anime shows yet. This is an anime show based off, I think, a video game. Devil May Cry. That's on Netflix. It premieres April 3rd.
Okay.
A docu-series, Bad Influence: The Dark Side of Kidfluencing.
No, I do not want to watch that.
Kidfluencing. Is that like kids on the internet or something?
There's a show I know nothing about called Government Cheese to be on Apple TV on the 16th. Oh, it's got David Ataloyo. I'm sure it's terrible. What about Poly Family on TLC reality show? That's at the end of April though, but that could be very entertaining. Let's put Poly Family down. I think we have to watch Poly Family.
Yeah, when that comes out, we could do that one maybe 2 episodes from now. But the anime one could
Yeah,
be
the
something.
plot doesn't sound bad to that.
All right, let's do Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry. And then what was you guys want to do Just Shoot Me with that?
No, we can
Devil
do
or
yeah, we
Or
can do
Veep?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to do Veep, right?
Yeah, those would be
All right,
two
let's do
complete
Veep,
opposite
Veep and Devil May Cry.
shows. Okay. Veep and Devil May Cry. How about
All
that?
right, let's do it.
All right, locked it in.
Locked and loaded. All right. Well, apologies to our audience and to you guys for my ridiculously bad internet, or I don't even know. That was weird. But these things happen, but we made it through. You guys were able to make it through. Unlike that one time before you were on the show, Don, I was unable to make a show on time. And who was it? Rico, Howie, and Odie had the worst podcast / video cast ever recorded in the history of humanity. I think that was back when it was the
Did we? I don't even remember that.
the boring show.
Well,
you
Odie
were
probably just kept opening his mouth but not saying anything. And Howie was probably drunk before he got on.
Before the
So
CIA
that's
took
like-
him away from us.
Sounds like a
Yeah.
great show.
I was probably having fun with it.
Yeah.
Go find that episode. Let me watch it again.
All right, I will. I don't
For
know.
our for our
Wait,
old show in the future, we're gonna rewatch.
Yeah,
the first
that'll be
novel.
our old show 2 weeks from now. We'll do that.
Yeah.
one.
I mean, wait, do
Honorable
you remember?
mention.
What did you? Do you remember anything about what you talked about on the show?
Today?
No, on the show that I wasn't on.
No, I don't even remember it happening.
It was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!